You
Psycho
be worried about Psycho Stu.
Psycho Stu?
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a little.
Oh, you don't
Easy. He's not a fucking worker, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Let me call my son. Hey,
Yo.
did you get jumped by a bunch of dudes in tights, nigga? Did you get jumped by a bunch of dudes in tights?
No.
Do I need to send my goons over there?
Nah.
You was hugging on a dude in some damn tights.
Man, shut the fuck up.
Man, you shut the fuck up. I looked at your stream, nigga. You was hugging on some dude in some booty shorts.
Nah, I wasn't fucking hugging on nobody. Making shit up.
I ain't make nothing up. All right, long as you say.
You never know. Y'all keep playing with me and Uncle Joe there.
Now y'all got my son mad at me. Are y'all happy now?
There's definitely some blame to be laid on Rampage. Now, Rampage has nothing to do with what happened. Let me make that clear. I'm not saying Rampage has some blame for the incident that happened, but he has some blame with the type of child that he raised. Okay? And it's not an excuse, right? Like, a lot of people have been through trauma. A lot of people were not raised right. A lot of people had trash ass parents. It doesn't mean everybody turns out to be some psycho, but you know, being a trash father or mother doesn't help the case. This guy was actually good when he got popped with the fake can on his head. It was very disrespectful for Psycho Stu to do that, and he apologized several times, and he accepted the apology, especially when they told him, hey, this is a good narrative, you can just come in the ring, do a fake slam, a couple fake punches, and we're all good. And he was happy with that. He accepted the apology, right? Because if he reacted right away after he got hit with the can, then there will be some things to justify. But that's not the case. This man attacked him hours after, turning the fake wrestling shit into some real shit and almost killing him. But it turns out he was rage baited by his chat, and he got so mad he wanted to prove how tough he is. But he just proved how soft he was. But the person who started that rage bait was freaking Rampage Jackson. Rampage Jackson was the one who called his son to be like, hey, I saw you got popped with a can. You hanging out with some gay ass dudes. Well, what you doing over there? You soft, this, blah. Kept on calling him gay over and over again. And you know, of course, Rampage is sarcastic. He jokes a lot. If you see any clip with Rampage and his son, you know they always banter and make jokes and they're sarcastic, blah, blah, blah. But it's obvious this guy has some mental issues, and even though he knows it's a joke, he's not taking it lightly. Because even after he beat the shit out of Psycho Stu, the man was so mad, talking about, man, I'm tired of these fucking ass people making me thinking I'm soft, man. You think I'm still soft, chat? All right, first of all, Chael Sonnen, King Contrarian. Like, I know there's some people who, like, all they do is go against the grain when it comes to the narrative or the mainstream narrative, whatever it is. They just go against it. It doesn't matter if it makes sense. It doesn't matter if all the facts are laid out, if it's in front of your face. As long as they see, oh yeah, this is the narrative, this is what most people are saying about it, somehow, some way, they do some mental gymnastics to have the opposite view of whatever most people are saying. And like, sometimes, like, it just pisses me off. Now, I already know, first of all, if you're taking Chael Sonnen serious in anything, like, I don't know what that says about you, honestly speaking. I cannot take any word that comes out of this guy's mouth serious. Pause, right? But man, his take on this shit pissed me off. It's like, and I'm gonna play it, it's like he's acting like we didn't see what we saw.
Rampage Jackson, Rampage's son. Now, let me just start out with a disclosure to you all that I know this young man, and I like him a lot. I don't just know him to be level-headed and calm, I know him to be quite polite. I want to preface that because I don't think that will interfere with my ability to tell you what happened here, but this is a wildly complicated situation. So let's start with what you saw. You saw Raja get in the ring as part of a wrestling angle that was scripted and planned. You see Raja come in with his wits about him, waits for the right moment, picks up a double leg, just as it was planned. And he's doing this with Psycho Stu, and Psycho Stu is letting it play perfectly. Raja then turns him around so that when he brings him down, it's right in the center of the ring, which appears to be very clearly what they agreed and had planned to do. Now, the landing is not great. When Raja...
All right, first of all, he's already trying to like soften it. Like, what do you mean by the landing is not great?
What the fuck is that?
The landing was horrendous. Like, it was terrible. He landed on his head. And from what I've seen several times on that same clip, the man was out once he landed. He was out. Like, that could have been the end of it. Just one punch enough was overkill, right? That's just a fact. So saying the landing is not great, you can already tell this guy's about to say some bullshit.
Raja brings Psycho Stu down. It's not great, and Stu lands in a way, and he hits the back of his head, and he looks as though he perhaps lost a level of consciousness right then. All right. Either way, this is what happened, and either way, Rampage Jackson, from my vantage point, is...
I like how he's saying, I like how he's like literally telling us the story like we've all not seen it. And the beginning of the clip, he literally said, "This is what you saw." And then he's going ahead to pretty much tell us what we saw. Like, bruh, just get to the points.
Working out the spot the way it was planned. Raja then follows up with a right hand. Then he switches and follows up with a left hand. Now, these were hard shots. However, and again, I'm giving you my perception, but I watched this thing 20 times before I made this video to you guys. While they were very stiff shots, not what we would call a working shot, it did not appear that Raja had lost his temper. It did not appear that the...
Huh?
What did I hear that? Well, like, am I having hearing issues? Chael Sonnen just said, you know, he landed him, the landing wasn't good, and started landing shots. He admits that, oh yeah, these were hard shots. And this man follows up to say it does not appear that he lost his temper. That's crazy. Now, I'm not sure what point of the landing the hard shots that he wasn't appearing to have lost his temper. It seems to me from the first punch, it was obvious he lost his temper. Now, in real time, right, like all the other wrestlers and the referee who were watching this go down, at the beginning, it's easy to think, oh yeah, he's doing the work. It's part of the plan and everything. But in hindsight, how can you have a normal brain and say it does not appear he lost his mind? But let me see if he explains himself. Let me not jump the gun.
These were being done out of anger. As much as, all right, I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to spin you in a 180. I'm going to bring you down in the middle of the cage. Then just like a cage fight, I'm going to land a punch to either side. Whatever's supposed to happen after that. There was a couple of guys there, a referee, another wrestler, perhaps the boys step in. We'll never know. Because at this point, it appears that Raja marked out for his own gimmick and really begins laying some shots in, but those shots are done out of anger. And if you want to understand what happened here, you're going to have no ability to get into the eye or mind of the DA or a potential juror. You're going to have no ability to do that if you don't understand.
Bruh, I've never seen anybody who like takes his time to lay out stuff and keep yapping and just ends up not making a point. I hope he has a strong point to make. This right here, what you're watching, is the definition of mental gymnastics. I mean, we're 5 minutes in the video and he still hasn't really like talked about what he's trying to say. Like, I'm so confused, but hopefully he gets to the point again. Let me not jump the gun. Let's see.
The show, he is not one of us. He's a dude that's back here and you just broke a bottle over his head. So Psycho Stu then, in yet another video, but all preceding the event in the ring, explains to Raja, hey, we're always working. You know, this is always a work, whether we're trying to fool the audience or we're just trying to fool the boys in the back. You know, you and I have got an angle now. So the rest of the guys tell Raja, who was a little bit confused by this and really didn't like that he had a can busted over his head. It didn't hurt him, but it embarrassed him. And he is a legitimate fighter. Like, he's going to have an ego like anybody and not going to want that to happen. But he didn't really blow up or react. The guys told him, hey, look, get even with him in the ring. Now, that is wildly open to interpretation what that means. But it made a level of sense to...
I know the clip. I know what he's talking about. And it's too long to pull it up. But basically, when the whole thing happened, right? When Raja was hit with the can and he got upset, you know, rightfully so. Like I said, it was disrespectful. And apologized. They made up everything. And then when they were going back into the building, the guy with the hat that looked like the stripper, right? Because Raja did say that, and I think that's who Rampage was talking about. The guy kept on telling Raja, oh yeah, you could go ahead and get your receipts, all right? Get your receipts in the ring, right? But I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh yeah, the guy was encouraging him to go crazy and try to unalive him. It doesn't make any sense, right? Bro, I'm just gonna be objective. Maybe he shouldn't have said, oh yeah, you should go in there and get your receipts, right? Because at the end of the day, Raja is not a wrestler, right? And like Chael, I think I know where Chael is going. He's about to say some bullshit like, hey, that could have been open to interpretation, bruv. You know, when he said go in there and get your receipts, he may have meant, you know, just unalive the guy, right? Get the receipts, you know, knock him out. And even when he's unconscious, he can keep going crazy because, you know, it's revenge, right? Like, are you freaking kidding me?
What the fuck is that?
That is crazy.
A number of people that will come into pro wrestling that don't know pro wrestling, the wrestler will actually tell them, just hit me.
I mean, like, in my opinion, that doesn't have anything to do with this. Like, there's a difference between telling someone, hey, make it look real, hit me. Like, don't be scared, don't hold back, right? There's a difference between that and like just going abysmal, going crazy. Like, yeah, hit me for real, make it look real. Don't try to end my life. Like, is that really is that really a blurred line? Like, is that up for interpretation? Can someone let me know? Like, am I tripping? Because that's crazy. I don't even know why he's bringing that up. I think it's very obvious, right? Maybe some people don't know that wrestlers say they should hit them for real, make it look real. Maybe, right? But it doesn't have anything to do with this, in my opinion. That was straight up wild, and it had nothing to do with the acting, or in fact, it had nothing, in my opinion, to do with what happened earlier. I'm just gonna say it straight up, right? If you want to be charitable, you can say, oh yeah, he was still angry from when he got hit with the head, but the guy accepted the apology. I think it's a fact that this guy just wanted to show chat that he wasn't soft.
Stu comes out as a performer and says this was agreed upon. And you have no idea how far Stu would take that. Stu is clearly unconscious. In real life, he's unconscious. But is he going to come out and say that? Or is he going to stick to kayfabe and stick to the character and say, no, the whole script was I let him spin me money, I come down, I act like I'm unconscious. All we did is follow the script.
So Chael is pretty much saying, and he's saying some stuff that is true, because I do think that the reason why Raja has not been arrested yet, I say yet, but he probably will never be arrested, is because, first of all, I don't think any charges have been made, right? I don't think I've not heard, I kept looking and I've not seen anything about him being sued. Nobody has actually like reported it. Like Psychos 2, I believe, is up now, even though he's still in terrible condition. Bro, this man choked on his blood and his teeth, bruv. He literally choked on his blood and his teeth. So the fact that Chael Sonnen is like, you can see how he's trying to weasel this, right? He's trying to defend him, but at the same time trying to make it seem like he's being objective. Like, he's stating the obvious. Yes, Raja can say, oh yeah, hey, I was just acting. I got carried away in the acting. They did tell me to go in there, slam him, make a couple fake punches. So hey, my bad, like he said. I don't know if you guys saw the clip when I don't know who was talking to Raja on the phone, telling him, bro, why did you go crazy? Why did you do all that? The guy is flatlined, and Raja's response was, my bad. No remorse, none. So yes, it's obvious that he could easily say, yeah, he got carried away. They told him to do all that, but he went a little overboard. But that's not what anybody is arguing about. Everybody is enraged, justifiably, because we all saw what happened. We all saw all the events that led to that. And it's very obvious that he wanted to hurt him. You know why? Because he fucking said it.
What the fuck is that?
He literally said his intentions. He literally said he's gonna keep hitting him until someone takes him off of him. He doesn't know how many punches he can land, but he's gonna hurt him. Not too bad, but he's gonna hurt him. He's gonna get his lick back. He said everything. Literally. So the fact that Chael is trying to say, oh yeah, he can go to court and say, oh, he went overboard, this and that. No, he literally said what he was gonna do.
Raja is saying he did it in retribution to the Beer King because that's how the boys told him to settle it, and Stu goes along with it. I mean, you will truly have a kayfabe moment where these guys could build. These are indie scene guys. This isn't getting picked up by Triple H. But on the indie scene, you now have the makings of a good angle, and they won't take any action until a statement is made one way or the other by Psycho Stu.
I think the main reason he hasn't been arrested is because no charges have been made. Nobody's suing him yet. Nothing is happening right now. It's just public outrage from what we saw with our two eyes. But like, for him to come out here and try to make it seem like, oh yeah, maybe he just went overboard. It didn't seem like he lost his temper. Maybe he misinterpreted what the guy meant when he said, you know, get the receipts in the freaking ring. Just ridiculous. Trying to make this some type of race thing. Like, you think you're helping, but you're doing the opposite. The moment you try to bring your inner racism out and use this opportunity to make it a race thing, you're only making things worse, right? Like, if you're a black person and all you're doing is defending Raja because you're black, you're just stupid, and that doesn't help. If you're a white racist and you just want to find a way to just shit on black people because of this, you're not helping either. Right? So nobody in that situation is helping. All you're doing is making this an online conversation. Meanwhile, this is a clear, outrageous offense that leads to someone that needs to be locked up. Like, that's just an objective reality. This is what Sean Strickland said, which this guy just pisses me off, man. Sean Strickland says, Jackson's kid shouldn't go to jail. Prison should always be a last resort. I was arrested at 19 for 2 felony GBIs. I would have spent 5 to 6 years in prison if the DA had its way. After 6 years in the cell, coming out with nothing, being indoctrinated with gangs and violence, I guarantee I would have unalived someone. There was one guy telling me about how he picked up a murder charge, and I remembered being impressed by him. That would have been my future. Instead, I pled and took 100 days jail or work release, a ton of anger management, and a decent amount of victim restitution. After a miserable 2 years of court, luckily, a lawyer took my case for free because I didn't have $1 to my name. Bottom line, it's not about the person in prison, it's about who they become when they're out of prison. And I believe if I wasn't offered that deal, I would have been unalive today, and more likely would have resulted in someone else unaliving as well. My 2 cents, rehabilitation over prison always. Now, although I can understand what Sean Strickland is saying, right? I can understand it. All right? I can be objective. But Sean Strickland is the last person that should have an opinion in this. All right? This man is literally he's literally suspended for what? Like half a year because he couldn't control himself and he stormed into an octagon to try and beat up someone who just beat his teammate. He literally could not control himself. Like, it's so obvious Sean Strickland is still dealing with some mental issues. He's so insecure. He's literally like a fake alpha male. Literally a hypocrite. Sean Strickland is literally the most out of control person in the UFC. Like, you gotta be careful the type of people you take opinions from, right? Now, I understand what he's saying. There are 2 sides to the stories, right? Some people go to jail or go to prison and then they come out worse. But I don't think that's most people. Most people, they don't want to go through that experience anymore. They don't want to go to jail anymore. Because from what Sean Strickland is saying, right? Let's just cancel jail. Let's just not have prisons anymore. Let's just only have mental health institutions, right? So, first of all, Sean Strickland is not a psychologist. I can agree that Raja has some mental issues, but we don't freaking know that for sure. A lot of y'all in chat has said it already, and you might be right. The guy might just be a spoiled brat throwing a fit. There's a high possibility that he's not mentally ill. There's a high possibility, in fact, I'm 100% sure he doesn't have no damn stupid ass CTE. There's a high possibility that he's just a freaking soft guy who read his chat, got in his feelings, and just wanted to prove he wasn't soft. At least in America, the prison system is supposed to be like a rehabilitation system. It's supposed to be a system where you go in and come out a better man, but that's just not the truth. It's just not. It's terrible. It's horrendous. So that's why I'm like, I can understand what Sean Strickland is saying, but it just comes off as saying he should just get a slap on the wrist.
Almost killed somebody else. Nothing that we're going to discuss in this video is absolving Raja of anything. But I think it's important that we as men discuss how we influence and encourage others to engage in violence by making them feel lesser than because they don't live up to our idea of masculinity. His own father, that he desperately wants to make proud and to surpass, called him minutes before the assault and called him a gay person and clowned him repeatedly. And then his chat went to go clown his son.
Let me call my son. Hey, yo.
Because when I mentioned
did you get jumped by a bunch of dudes in tights, nigga? Did you get jumped by a bunch of dudes in tights? No. Do I need to send my goons over there? No. You was hugging on a dude in some damn tights. Man, shut the fuck up. Man, you shut the fuck up. I looked at your stream, nigga. You were hugging on some dudes in some booty shorts. I wasn't fucking hugging on nobody. Making shit up. I ain't make nothing up. Alright, long as you say.
You never know. Y'all keep playing with me. Don't go over there.
See? That's what I'm saying. You hear what he just told him? That was the beginning of the rage bait. At that point, Raja was already cool. He already accepted the apology, waiting for his turn to get into the ring. And his dad calls him, hey, did you get hit with a can and you didn't do nothing? You hugging up on some guys in booty shorts? Like, just literally bullying him. That's how he started. That was the beginning of the rage bait right there.
Now y'all got my son mad at me.
Man said now y'all got my son mad at me. He literally called his son and called him gay for pretty much not doing anything about what happened earlier, and then called him gay for hanging out with wrestlers who are dressed as wrestlers. Now, there was one with a cowboy hat who looked weird, but still, you get my point, right? It's all jokes, it's all fun, but in my opinion, he just bullied his son. Now, you guys might think I'm going overboard, but trust me, bro. Trust me. When you deal with like kids and young men, there is a certain limit to cracking jokes every single time. Anything they do that doesn't match what you're saying, oh, you gay, oh, you soft, you know, like, bruh. This was the beginning of the rage baits, guys. There was no spamming of his chat, and I've looked into this. The spamming of the chat did not happen until this call with Rampage. Rampage was the first person to call him gay and soft. And then after he did that, chat started spamming him. Look, did you see his son's response? It was like, nah, what are you talking about? Like, he was upset. It was irritating. His dad is calling him gay and soft because he didn't do anything about getting hit with the can. So, like, we're gonna keep going. This is just the beginning. There's more. I think it's hard to avoid that Rampage has some responsibility to play.
Are y'all happy now?
Now, Rampage is joking. He's clearly trolling.
Yes, but that got into the head of his son.
His son is not trolling. His son is actually upset.
My dad can't never call me a bitch.
Well, now you just involved fucking Rampage himself, because that's his boy.
Yeah, I can handle myself. Yeah, I can handle myself.
Rampage gonna come whoop your.
See what that guy said? Oh yeah, nah. That was after he got hit with the can. And the first thing the guy with the hat said, oh, now you got Rampage involved because that's his boy. And the son's response is, yeah, I can handle myself. So you can tell this is already an insecure thing he deals with. Like, everybody always trying to attach things to his dad. They're literally, he's a grown-ass man and you're talking about his, oh yeah, you got Rampage involved. Nah, you got to worry about me. Like, what? I'm a man. Why are you talking about you got my dad involved? So everything is building up and Rampage didn't help.
You don't need his dad. He handles his own shit.
Yeah, I got my own shit. Yeah. Bro, my dad can't do shit.
He felt emasculated by the hit earlier. Why am I putting all this all together? On many different streams, Rampage will troll his son. You know, he'll call him gay, call him weak, whatever it is. And I think this is the barrier. You remember what you talked about when it comes to relationships, how people get online and when they got problems in their relationships, they be live streaming the whole thing. And you say how weird it is?
I think it's super weird.
The same thing is happening, but with parenting right now.
Yes.
People are like, Rampage is not good. I
100%.
don't think he is. But this comes down to the whole masculine energy thing. Growing up, you saw a lot of guys get into fights because people taunted them because they needed to prove themselves. His son clearly feels like he needs to prove himself to his father.
Yep.
But also feel like he's, what is the word I'm looking for?
He's forever in the shadows of his dad.
Exactly.
Forever.
Yes.
Hell no, I don't got no bread, bro. My dad got bread. That's his bread. That's not mine.
This is the clip I was talking about when he was talking about, yeah, he's not rich. It's his dad. He's trying to be his own man. But with everything this man says, it's obvious he's trying to match his dad. It's obvious he's trying to live up to his dad's standard. He's literally trying to be his father. He's not trying to be his own man. He's trying to be his father. And that has a lot to do with the way he was brought up. Rampage has obviously raised this guy in a way that if he doesn't do anything that Rampage wouldn't do, then he's not a man. If he doesn't do anything to match Rampage, then he's not a man. If he's not exactly the way Rampage is, then he's not a man. And that's not good. Listen to what he's saying.
That's why I want to get on brand risk.
Every time he walks in somewhere, his dad is bigger than him. No matter what he accomplishes, his dad. It's just like when you're going out with a star. You're going out with a star. You know, let's go out with a girl. My girl is huge, super famous. I'm never gonna be preached. I'm gonna be that girl's boyfriend.
Absolutely.
And it's like, okay, but I do shit. Yeah, no, you're the. He's at the event alone. Oh yeah, Rampage's son. That's crazy. No, I'm me.
And to add to your point, he has 4 kids. Only one of them decided to be an MMA fighter, and it was the illegitimate child.
Yes.
And it speaks to that psyche where the child who's rejected will do whatever they can, oftentimes, to prove themselves worthy.
Of course.
Tell you, I knew out of all my boys, I knew he was gonna be the one that
How many do you have?
I got 3 boys.
But if you guys knew Rampage when he was early in his UFC career, the dude was a complete crash out. He had run-ins with the law. I think he had a few like actual.
He really was, and that's part of what I'm saying. Like, if his son is not living up to the standards of Rampage, being crazy, crash out like they said, then he's not a man. Cause, bruh, remember Rampage? Rampage is famous not just for fighting, right? The guy he's a wild man, to say the least.
Incidents that probably should have landed him in jail. I say all this to say, what?
His name is Rampage.
Right.
Where the hell do you think he got that name?
As a fighter, I think it's a great persona. It's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
But when your son is living in your footsteps, and he's trying to live up to that name, it puts a high bar. And when your dad's clowning you in public, which gives everyone else the green light to shit on you, when you don't got your self-esteem together, to me it's a recipe for disaster.
Oh, 100%.
Tired of motherfuckers playing with me, bro. Real shit. One of them a bitch and fucking bit me. I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me and shit. Think I'm always playing and shit. Call me bitch and shit.
That seems like someone who's been bottling up insecurity for a long while, and he finally crashed out and let it all out on the wrong person. all the punches he was throwing to Psychos 2, those punches were not for Psychos 2. Those punches were for chat. Those punches were for Rampage. Those punches was for everybody who's looked at him as Rampage's son and not acknowledged him as his own man. That's what that was. And he finally crashed out. That's what crashing out is, right? Crashing out is, you know, when a bunch of things has happened to you, but then you pick the most stupid situation to let it all out. That's what happened. And this reaction here shows that he finally let it all out in the wrongest way possible.
Not no fucking bitch, bro. At the end of the day, I'ma stand up for my fucking self because I'm tired of everybody playing with me, bro. Real shit.
And look, I'm not here to say Rampage is, you know, a disgusting father, whatever it is. Then he raises his kids. He's in their lives. He tries really hard to fight and be in their lives, and I commend that. He could have ignored Raja's existence altogether when he found out about it, but he took him in and he's trying to raise him. But when you involve streaming with your parenting, I don't think we've already established this for relationships. How many times has a woman got online on live stream, said some shit about her husband or boyfriend, and the public lambasts her like, why would you ever say that out loud?
Even if that thing was staged or a joke, at least
it's emasculating.
It don't look good.
Right.
It don't look good.
I don't understand why you guys wouldn't think from a father that wouldn't happen. Literally the chat.
Right. If you guys are not getting what they're saying, like, and this is what I talked about in my video, like, this is also related to the whole IRL streaming thing. Like, that shit is toxic, man. So their point is, like, it's bad enough. Like, we've seen, I'm sure you guys have seen so many examples where couples or friends are streaming and it just gets too messy. Like, personal stuff, you're showing it on online. You gotta be crazy to think something like that wouldn't happen with a father and a son. Rampage calling his son gay, calling his son soft, all that stuff, all that shit was for the views. All that shit was to make chat laugh, right? But at the expense of bullying his son. Same thing with Raja getting rage baited by chat and his father into almost unaliving someone. So, like, you really have to be careful with these type of things, man. Like, bruh, like I said before, getting too carried away into online shit, cloud is a hell of a drug, bro. It's a hell of a drug.
He's jumped because he's popular, so his live stream chat will leave to go goad the guy. And I'm not saying this is okay. I'm not trying to downplay what look, guy that belongs in jail, in my opinion. But can you guys not see how this desire for attention, how Rampage trying to put on this public persona all the time instead of parenting, does it affect the relationship dynamic?
Yep.
You're literally pushing people to go bully your kid, and your kid, you know, he's unstable.
It's like,
I promise you, I've not watched this clip, but that's what I was saying. He's literally bullying his son and telling the people who are watching him to go do the same thing. Oh man, he called him gay softs. Let's go in his chat and repeat what his dad said. And the guy, he read into it and got carried away.
Like the opposite. What do you want to be? Straight? We already got in a fight once.
Oh, really?
2 years ago?
Yeah.
He sucker punched me.
Well, I saw the slap.
How'd that go for
Was
you?
that?
And what'd you do? Did you slam him on his head?
Oh, yeah. That motherfucker to the hospital that day.
Yeah.
I never get guillotined on nobody. I didn't want to keep punching him, so I guillotined him and he wouldn't tap out. And
you put him to sleep?
Yeah.
Rogers and his old.
That's a man talking about how he put his sleep to son. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. But yeah, this is the clip where he said he kept he's kept bail money for his own son. If you guys haven't seen this out, check this out.
Oldest son, whole life, I knew them two wasn't going to college, and my two Japanese kids, I knew they was going to college, so I saved up college tuition for the two Japanese kids and bail money for Roger and his brother. So don't fuck with him.
If you guys don't understand how messed up that is, man, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, if you're a dad or your parents, like, you try to keep your child out of jail. You don't talk about having, of course, like I said, as a parent, you should save money for your kids, right? You don't know what more might happen in case of emergency. Shit, you should save money for yourself, right? But like saying, oh yeah, I got money specifically for my son's bail money, like that just shows the mindset. Like there is nothing more encouraging than that. You're literally telling your son, hey, you know, I know you're a wild man and I know you can't control yourself. So you know what? I'm just going to keep this money aside for you. So whenever you're in jail, yeah, it is what it is. That's literally what that does. It doesn't help anything.
And just think about your own dad saying that shit in public. Like, yo, my kid's a crash out. I know it. I already got the bail money ready. And you feed into that. You're the kid publicly. Like, yes, I understand ribbing, all that stuff. Your kid's clearly upset because something happened to him. Y'all can't have it both ways. You can't tell me that fathers are incredibly important, that kids need their fathers, and then also say that Rampage Jackson had zero influence. That don't make no sense. If you are literally bullying your kid, calling them lesser than because they didn't handle some situation the way that you think they should have, then you have an influence. And I think it's okay to discuss that.
It's a tough one.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, on one hand, we talk about how parenting is important. A lot of people talk about it, of course. But on the other hand, you see a situation like that and be like, oh yeah, this has nothing to do with parenting. I watched, I forgot who I watched, but I saw someone on MMA. I don't know if it was Lucas Tracy, but I saw someone say like, yeah, this has nothing to do with Rampage. No, I think it has everything to do with Rampage. First of all, he's the one who started the rage bait. Second of all, from just the little clips that we've seen, the wild shit he be saying, the thing bullying his son for views, bruh, just imagine what happens behind closed doors. Ain't no excuses, man. I think Rampage has a big part to play. First of all, he bullied his son into the shit. He's the first person to call him gay. He's the first person to call him soft. And then the rest of the chat followed suit. But I'm not going to say, oh, it's Rampage's fault. The guy has most responsibility. He is a man, right? He is. So he bears the responsibility. But I think Rampage has some percentage of that share.